Hi there, my name's Vince from mymatevince.com, and today we're looking at a little bit of history. A Philips reel-to-reel player. Looks like it was owned by a Christopher Hughes. So I believe these are from the 1960s, 1970s, that kind of era. So I've never used one before. Certainly haven't tried to fix one before. So this is before my time by quite a few years. So it was sent in by a viewer called Adam. He sent it in at Christmas time, and I've only just got round to having a look at it now. So thanks a lot, Adam, for sending it in. He does have a YouTube channel called Norfolk Man Cave. Now, if you're interested in things like, it's kind of fascinating really. It looks like there's a huge amount of land and there's loads of old machinery on that land, and in a lot of the videos he's trying to get things working that haven't been started for years. So for example, like an old motorhome that hasn't been started up in a couple of years, getting it running again, or for example an old tractor, fixing up bits to it to get it working again. So yeah, Norfolk Man Cave, check that out if you have time. So yeah, this one here I believe is not working whatsoever. It looks to be in a real sorry state. It kind of looks to be well, don't know, it just looks to be quite bashed up, and none of these things look like they're actually doing what they should be doing. So I think rather than plugging it in while it's in this state here, I think maybe we should take it apart first. It's obviously not working, and see what's going on. I don't know what's going to be wrong with these things here, but on the inside I'm almost certain it's just going to be a belt issue. But yeah, it'd be interesting if we can get it working, to see what is on this tape. So let's get over to the blue mat, take it apart and see what's going on. So a quick Google search looking at pictures, it looks like it's an N4304, a recording reel-to-reel player from 1966 to the early 1970s. But then, when I've done a bit more information, looking up information, it's saying that this one's also identical, the EL3572. Then I looked on eBay and I found one that looks identical called the N4304/15. Now, look in the back here. There is a little thing here, and let me zoom right in, and it says there type. That does look like N4, doesn't it? N4304/15. So yeah, that's the model, N4304/15. How they vary between all the models, I don't know. Right, so let's first of all, that looks like it's trapped in there, doesn't it? I'm going to be able to take that out. I've got gloves on because of the, I can already see there's a few bits of goo on the bottom and around the place. On these belts go completely messy, and that mess gets everywhere. Annoyingly, that's caught in here. Don't want to rip the tape. Oh, hold on, does this pop out? Oh, here we go. Oh, careful, careful. Excellent. Ah, that's how you release it. Okay. Now I wonder if this has got stuff on both sides. I don't know. I don't know if this is like stereo or mono or what it is. Right, I think we should take these off and put them somewhere safe, because realistically that's probably going to be the most interesting part of the video, is the tape at the end. So I'm just going to put them to one side. Actually, what does it say on here? EMI, is it? EMI tape, yeah. It says on here, Miller Brandon. Oh, here we go. What's this here? Alison Chris something room? Not sure. Might be just conversations and stuff on here, like family stuff. Right, so we've got a handle there. Let's have a little look around here now. So we've got a counter here. A very, very, very short plug. Very short, so I think maybe the lead got damaged at some time, and I mean, that's ridiculously short, isn't it? You can see all the black glue around here, and it looks like it's kind of bashed up here. So the screws are, where are the screws? Well, there's still some screws left in here. We've got something rattling about. Let's undo the screws and see what's happening. And it looks like you can change the AC voltage coming in as well. As at 240 volts at the moment. Let's undo these screws. Okay, that came off easy enough. I just had to pull out the handle and then it levered forward. Right, now, here we go. Look at this mess here. So, where even was the belt originally? So here's the remains of it. It must have gone, oh, it's a massive belt. So it must have gone around here, and around this one here. So is there nothing on this one? No, I suppose so. This is the one always doing the driving, must be. Yeah, and there's a little brush here, I presume, to keep maybe to keep dust off the belt. Yeah, it's a pretty heavy duty belt as well. Definitely haven't got any of them. I wonder, are they still available? Oh, here's another screw. That's what was rattling around with some belt goo on it. Okay, well, so this is the reason you have to wear gloves. This stuff gets everywhere. It kind of goes to oil. It's horrible. Right, what I'm going to do is just spend ages cleaning all this because I don't want to work on it like it is. Annoyingly, what's this here? I think that's broken down as well. I don't think that is anything to do with the belt. I think that's just a lump of rubber on there, but that's completely broken down. So that's going to have to go. I'm not sure how repairable this is actually going to be. But anyway, let's start by giving it a clean up. Are these things? Oh, these things are working. Fast forward and stuff. Fast forward and rewind's not working. But maybe that's just because of all of this stuck together here. That's probably why, isn't it? Look at that. Well, I'm going to get some wet wipes and start with the cleaning. I'll just fast forward through the whole thing. Right, where possible, I'm going to scrape it away rather than wipe it, because by wiping it, all I'm doing is spreading the mess everywhere. So if you have a look here, you see I can scrape that. It's easy to clean my screwdriver afterwards. So while I've got this unenviable job of scraping off all this goo, which is only probably slightly better than doing a recap on a Sega Game Gear, I'm going to give a shout out to the My Mate Vince Massive. And this month, the sponsors of these videos are Operational 117, KitDigital.com, Kip Hakes, Max Rokotansky, Having Fun Repairs, Ellensburg Amplifier Repair and Service, Will Michaelis, Chris Seal, the My Mate Vince Fan Club, Dorian from Hooverlux Restorations, MediaSteamer.com, Rob Hughes, and Felipe at MrKeebs.com. Thank you so much, guys. See, funny enough, look, fast forward and rewind are still not staying down. So I don't know, is it when something goes into it? I can't see how putting the things on here would suddenly make that work, but I'm not sure. Let's have a look underneath it. Oh, we've got loads of tubes under here as well. So I suppose this is just the age then, before transistors, where it was like tube radios and stuff. So would that be the same as here then? Well, they're all soldered in there. I can't actually take that out. So that's the massive... wheel, oh, here's the motor up here. This is the motor. Okay. Interesting. So look, we have, let's see if I can zoom in on this. I'm just going to take my gloves off for the time being. If you have a look at the, oops, hold on, I don't want to break anything. Yeah, I definitely don't want to break these tubes, do I? Because they're glass. Right, if we have a look here, I noticed that there was a little screw just here, and I thought, oh, it's undone, but I don't think it is. I think that might be how you adjust the play in it here. Because when I spin this, it's not going to come across in the camera. It's spinning under here, and when I pull it out, it's hitting against that screw. So I wonder, is that to adjust for a bit of play in here? Maybe. So where does the power go into? because the leader is very short. So it goes in around here, here to here. It's a shame I can't easily take it apart. It's just going to involve quite a bit of work unsoldering the wires and stuff. So I think what I'm going to do is going to be a bit awkward. I think I'm just going to reach in and clean what I can with a wet wipe, and I think I'm going to use some IPA on the actual circuit boards themselves, because they're pretty dirty as they are at the moment. Oh look, we have a tiny little schematic here. Fortunately, it's got a big bit of tape over it, so if I peel that off, it's going to rip, isn't it? Yeah. Now look at this, amazingly this rubber belt here has survived. So you know, on this one here, this is for the counter. So when I spin this, you can see that the counter's spinning. So I think what I'm going to do is, let's now plug it in and see if it's going to do anything. It doesn't look like there's anything overly burnt up on the inside or anything like that, so I'm thinking it might be okay to plug in. So I've got it to sit down nicely again. Basically this thing coming down here was just fouling against this bottom arm here. But when I press this in here, I don't know what it did originally, but it doesn't seem to change between manual and automatic. It does, but it doesn't stay, you know, so it's automatic, still automatic. Anyway, let's plug it in and see what it does. I believe this is the on and off switch down here, and also the volume. So here goes, I'm going to plug it in now. Obviously I'm keeping my hands well away from the inside of it. Right, we're plugged in. And I'm going to turn it on. Oh, there we go. That's spinning. Thing is, why would that be spinning? Surely it would only spin when you press play here, no? Maybe not. What I'm going to do is, now I haven't got a belt for it, and I don't know if the belts still exist. I presume they probably do somewhere. I'm going to see if I've got an elastic band, just to see if we can get some kind of movement on things, because I don't want to fork out for belts if there's going to be something on the inside that can't be fixed. So, for example, you know, the speakers and stuff might not work. Found some that might stretch round. I've got larger ones here that might do the job, not too sure. Remember, this is only to test. So I'm just manoeuvring the elastic band into position by undoing the screws underneath the tape head and just working the elastic band in there. It's not the correct way because the wires are in the way, but at least it will show me whether or not these main reel wheels are going to turn or not. Well, I can't see how that's going to turn that wheel there, because the it doesn't seem to go far enough to allow it to go around here, this bit here. Doesn't really make any sense. Do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put it back in, and hopefully we can see what it's doing. It might become clear. Right, so let's turn it on now and see what it does. Right, so that's all turning there, but that's not obviously going to turn that and that, is it? Oh, interesting, that's turning there. we need this to be taking it up, don't we? Don't understand how pause works. Is it just the rubber bung that was on the end of this putting pressure on that? Is that how pause works? Ooh, we have got sound on the speaker. Yeah. Right, okay. Oh, that's manual, automatic. Right, well it's definitely doing something. Let's unplug it again. So now we just have to work out this bit here, don't we? So let's forget about this top bit because that's not really doing anything. I think that's just like working like a clutch. So that's going to be down on here. But to me, that's too high up. That's too high up for this to grip on. Unless, look, we have, hold on. There shouldn't be two belts on here, should there, top and bottom? I'm going to look online, see if there's any sort of service manual or anything, because I'm just completely, I haven't got a clue what's happening here. There's no way that one at that height can be anything to do with this belt at the bottom, as far as I can see. So I'm wondering whether or not, when this is on here, whether or not there's another belt that goes from this bit onto this top bit here. So I've had a look online, and yeah, this is down as an N4304, so I'm pretty certain about that now. I did watch a YouTube video, it was only a couple of minutes long, just showing the features of it, and definitely fast forward and rewind do hold down, so that's not right. As far as the belts are concerned, as far as I can see, there's only one seller on eBay selling them. It's from Italy, it's £15 for the belts and £5 postage. I think there was 4 belts in the pack. But I think there's 4 belts because on other models similar to this, they need 4 belts. While on this one, I think it needs 3 belts. The big belt here, and these are supposed to be square belts, I think. And then it looks like, I haven't seen any video on it, but there's 2 other belts. So one of them is going to be for this one here. That's called a figure of 8 one. And yeah, so that's 1 belt there, 2 belts here, and the 3 belts here. I presume the 4th belt is for a different model doing something else. This thing here is confusing me. This thing, but I presume once we put this on here, I mean that must be some kind of clutch, that must allow slippage with that felt pad there, but maybe that felt pad, there did seem to be some residue, so I'm thinking that that felt pad should be glued because you can see there's stains around here, so and also there's stains here, so I think that should be glued onto there like so. Now, not sure, don't really know what's happening there. I mean, there's black goo everywhere, but I don't know whether there should have been anything on here on the inside originally. I mean, why have we got these things here? You know what I mean? Why have we got those little bits there? Do you know what I mean? So does something have to go in here? Possibly. Right, first of all, I want to work out what's happening with this fast forward thing and rewind thing because they should be working. So when we press this, this whole thing wants to move over, but it's not moving over. Why is it not moving over? So one wants to put it that way, there. And this record's not doing anything, is it? Right, so why is that not? So that's not pushing that up. Let's have a look. Okay, so that's that lever here. This lever. Right, let's try that on the opposite side of that thing there. Because maybe when I lifted this up and put it back down, I put it on the wrong side. And that's on that side there now. That's still going to sit in here. And I believe this was the last tube model that Philips did on reel to reel, so that's quite nice. Yes, excellent. That's working. So that was just the wrong side there. Brilliant. And remember I said about this earlier, not changing. Well, look, it doesn't change, but when you press down record, now it does change. Brilliant. Well, that is... it's definitely doing what it needs to do now. Let's plug it back in and see whether it can fast forward or rewind. So I'm going to turn it on. So that's doing that. Let's press play. Okay, now rewind. Is that going the opposite way? Yes, it is. There. Yeah, that's just spinning, moving that. So now, fast forward. How would that work? Oh, that just must go. Oh, of course. Now that's going to go along here. Hold on. And that's going to fast forward that. Yes! Fantastic. We're getting there. Right, now what I'm going to do is turn it off. I am going to get a belt and wrap it around there and see if now this takes up when we press play. Well, I'm just thinking the elastic bands I've got are thicker than the Walkman belt, so I'm just going to try with an elastic band to begin with. I've just got one wrapped around here, you see. Now that elastic band's about to break. I just want to quickly see whether it's going to do anything different now, whether that's going to start spinning. Ping! Okay, that one broke, but yeah, this one's spinning. But it's not going to have any strength to it, is it? Yeah. So I need to sort of work out how that clutch thing works. So I just typed Philips N4303 clutch into Google and look at the picture over here. So that's that inside wheel, and that's the reason why there's all black on the inside as well, black goo, because that rubber there has completely broken down. So that's what it should look like. And they just clip onto these bits here, you see. So I'm going to have to do some kind of rubber insert there to put pressure on the other one. Try to mimic something like that. Now check this out, I just put reel-to-reel clutch rubbers and look at that. Now that's interesting, so that's on UK Vintage Radio Repair and Restoration Discussion Forum. I know it's for a different model number, but maybe that would work. And I have got a pack of O-rings, I'm going to give it a go. So I'm just working on the clutch, and this is an O-ring kit that I bought from, I think it was Screwfix here in the UK. So it's got all different sizes. Now, I am going to go with this size here, 22mm by 2mm. Now, they look like they're way too big, but I think that might be a good thing because look, if I put one in that little bit there and one in that bit there, so it kind of looks like a weird looking sort of shamrocky type thing, then once it goes into here, and I kind of crush in the edges, I think by crushing in the edges here, it's going to put pressure, it's going to kind of fill it up like so. And I think the pressure on these bits here might act the same sort of way as the fingers sticking out. That's what I'm thinking. So it's going to be like that there. And I'm thinking then, when I turn that, it will still allow this to spin the wrong way, but it's going to be acting more like a clutch, which I presume is how it's supposed to act. Right, so that's that bit there. I don't know if it's going to work or not. We won't know until we put it back together. Also, the speed and everything is going to be out on this because I'm just using a huge, massive rubber band here, and I presume that's not going to be calibrated. I presume the measurements between here and here have to be very similar to whatever the measurements are around here, I'm kind of thinking. So this is probably going to be all over the place. But what we'll do is I want to just get it back together, and then I want to give the outside a nice clean so it looks nice on the outside, and then I just want to play it just to see if there's anything recognisable coming out of that tape whatsoever. So now I am going to glue this to here. Just going to try a little bit this hot glue. If this doesn't work, I'll see if I've got any fabric glue. let's plug it in and see what it does now. Still not very strong. I can stop it very easily. Well, I'm going to put the cover back on and see if it's maybe it's designed to be stopped easy. It's pretty strong like that, but that's because it's against there. I think that's going to be too weak. Also, what I've done is I've just put I've doubled up a rubber O-ring on this bit here as well, because there was a huge lump of rubber there earlier. Again, I don't think that's going to be big enough, but we'll give it a go. Now, originally you can see there would have been a lot of grease all around these areas here, so I'm just going to put the grease back in that. This is Morrico EM30L. A 3-in-1 oil, I'm going to drop it down into this area in here, just where this is spinning. Also, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a nice clean cotton bud, a Q-tip, and I'm just going to wipe it on the head, the head up here. I'm going to have to undo that circlip. That thing should only touch here when it's in play. There we go. Should be that side there, I'm sure. Like that. So now I'm going to get a clean Q-tip, a cotton bud, and I'm going to clean up the head and also the erase head here. And also, I've already cleaned up this roller a lot, but I'm going to clean it with IPA as well, because it has kind of got it looks rusty, but it doesn't seem to be cleaning any more than that. So just using this isopropyl alcohol, which is 99.9%. Look at the dirt on that. Oh, it's filthy. I've never seen a tape head so dirty. So it might not even read the tape, even if I get the mechanism working. Maybe this won't even read it. Well, fair play, the IPA is removing that rust-like material. Look at it. Wow, I'm really happy with how that's come up. Completely different than before. So now I'm going to thoroughly clean the inside of the case, the outside of the case, all the buttons, in the speaker grills and everything like that, and try to make this presentable. And then we'll put the reels on it at the very end, and let's see if any sound can come out of this whatsoever. So here it is. Look at it. It's come up really, really nice, considering what it looked like to begin with. It's a couple of days later now, and I've been just trying to understand this, and learn a little bit about it. And I feel like I know a lot more now than I did at the beginning of the video. Look at this little carry handle. Portable. I've ended up really enjoying this thing here. And to begin with, I didn't really like the look of it, but now it's really grown on me. And there's something that's really stylish about it, especially when it's got the cover on here. On this one, it looks like you can play it with the cover on, but for the purpose of the video, let's take it off. There's a little button here that you press to undo that cover there. The thing that threw me originally when I was testing this out was that it was spooled up wrong. So basically this tape was coming down here and then going through to here. So it would play okay, but every time I went to rewind, it would just throw a load of tape out on the floor. So basically with a reel-to-reel machine, the tape needs to come round here, past here and back through this way. So that's the way it needs to go. It needs to go on the outsides. So around here, through there and up here. Yeah. And when it comes to rewinding, this one actually goes clockwise and this one anti-clockwise, counterclockwise when you're playing and fast forwarding. So it seems to be a little bit different than what you would think, and that's the reason why you have the tape going on the outside there. Other things worthy of note are, if I plug it in, I want to show you this. This is called a magic eye. This is basically like, you know, when you do your recording and you don't want the needle to go into the red because it can get a bit distorted. Well, this is what this is. You don't want the outer two ones to move up into the red. So if we plug it in here, there should be a little cover for the back here that's missing. So believe it or not, it is actually working okay. I think it might be playing a tiny bit slow. It's hard for me to tell because I haven't got any music and I don't know what the people sound like in real life. But I'm thinking it has to be a little bit out because I've just used elastic bands on the inside. But now I know it's working from what I can see perfectly. I will pay the £20 and get the belt sent over from Italy, because now I know what I'm doing. It's going to take about 20 minutes just to fit them, so it's not a massive job. I've also got the pause working. What I had to do is the bit that was sticking out and I had the O-ring on, I added a bigger O-ring to it. I put a bit of hot glue down onto the O-ring to stop it springing off, and now that puts pressure. In fact, you can see it moving here. All it's doing is putting pressure on that reel there to stop it turning. So anyway, let's turn it on. So you turn it on here, and this is the volume. I believe this is bass and treble. It definitely sounds nicer when it's over this way here. I haven't tested the record as far as plugging in a microphone, because I think the microphone goes into this one here, and this is, I believe, for an external speaker. But when I press record and play, it does then blank out that section of the tape. So it's definitely erasing the tape. So I've got a feeling it probably is going to record just fine as well. Anyway, look at this here. I'm going to turn that off and turn it back on again. So this is like a valve in here, like a tube. And when we turn it on, can you see the way it moved there? Yeah, it takes a while to warm up. Now, because it's already warmed up, it will just kick in straight away. But you can see there's nothing there now. Turn it on, and look at the way that's moving. And apparently that's supposed to move in and out when you're doing the recordings. That's nice. And that works similar to a CRT TV. So that's like a little screen in there, if you imagine it like a CRT. And these are the kind of like moving images here. Really very nice indeed. It's a very long tape. One side of it is just a BBC Two recording from back in the day. And on the other side, it's slightly more interesting, but me and Adam are not going to make our millions on it. There's no hidden Beatles songs or anything like that. It's just a family. So there's some sort of Christmas stuff on there, kids singing nursery rhymes, a mum or a grandma singing a Bethlehem hymn. Also, there is, at the beginning, it's quite interesting, there's two organ songs played on the organ. One is Killing Me Softly, which I didn't even realise was that old, and another one I think is called All of Me. And then she goes on to sing those songs, and she thanks the person for lending her this, explains she's got a bit of a cold. I'll play you a little bit of that because that's a slight bit interesting. But that's it really. It's just kind of normal family stuff as you would expect on this, but it is working perfectly. So if you look at the counter here, you can see it's 998. I've got it set near 0 because that's where I'm going to be playing it from. But if I rewind it, you can see now, nice and smooth. And can you see it's counting backwards? Yeah. Stop it here. Fast forward. Again, nice and smooth. And counting forward. If I stop and play here, it's going to be an organ. So I think that's all of you or all of me, I'm not sure. And if I pause it, you can see it does pause. fast forward it until we get to 0 and you can hear us speaking. Here we go.
And turning the music and all this sort of thing. So I shall know another time. But anyway, thanks for the loan of the machine. I've really enjoyed playing with it this evening. And it's nice to record a little message for you this way as we're not on the phone. And I do hope to see you again soon. I hope to get Tony to drop this in for you so that you'll have it by the weekend. And I do hope that I don't sound like this incidentally all the time, because when I play this back I sound just like a Suffolk Swede. So I do hope I don't...
A Suffolk Swede. I have never heard that. I've never heard that saying before, but I quite like it, a Suffolk Swede. And then she goes on to sing a little bit of Killing Me Softly. So if I fast forward it.
And so I came to see him and listen for a while. And there he was.
And it sounds like there's birds chirping in the background.
A stranger to my eyes, drumming my pain with his fingers.
So there we have it. Massive thumbs up to Adam for sending it out to me. It's not something I would have ever picked to look at. But from knowing nothing about them, I feel now that I have actually gained a little bit of knowledge, and yeah, it makes a lot more sense to me how they work, how to spool them up and stuff like that. The nicest thing for me has been this little magic eye down here. I think that's lovely, and I've never owned anything with valves before or tubes inside it to my knowledge anyway, so it's quite nice to hear what they sound like. So yeah, massive thanks Adam, thanks everybody who watched this video, and thanks to the lady that gave me some content for this 40 or 50 years ago. Take care, bye now.
And do tumbling after.
Good boy! The mummy say something.
Oh, I don't know what to say. I'll be a funny old lady, shall I?
Humpty Dumpty sat on the wall. Humpty Dumpty had a big fall. All the king's husband, all the king's men couldn't put Humpty together again.
Away in a manger, no crib for a bed, the little Lord Jesus laid down his sweet head.
At 2 minutes past 2. This is Radio 2 on 1500 meters in VHF. It's 11:30, and that's time for Tony Brandon.